YouTube, I'm David Boucher, and welcome to day 84 of my 6-month life transformation. So as usual, we're back here on a Sunday. It's beautiful here in Houston. I've had a good weekend, and I hope yours has been equally good. And you've gotten to do some fun things as well as some productive ones. So for me, it's been a very busy week in a great way. I love the client I'm at. I love the work I'm doing, and so the weeks just tend to fly by, and the days tend to bleed into each other. But I'm very happy to announce, though, that the hard work has been worth it. I get to keep doing what I really enjoy doing because it looks like this is going to be a longer term contract than I thought, which is fantastic. But it's gotten me thinking about, how do I say this, like adapting lifestyle, right? Because I went from a period where I was making very good money to nothing, and now I should be back to making very comfortable money. But how does that affect my lifestyle? And, what message would I have for you as you're thinking about what it is that you want out of life? And so, what I will say is that regardless of what happens going forward, the 2 months where I had to cut everything essentially down to zero, so only paying for essentials, was hugely beneficial because it got me thinking about what it is that I really value and really want. So in that period, I was selling some things I didn't need to bring in some cash. I was renegotiating all the contracts that I had, so cell phone, cable, to try and get the monthly expenses down, right? Those recurring expenses lower. And so the trick now is, how do I keep that going forward? How do I make sure and capture all of those gains permanently? Because in my last job at the consulting firm, we'd see this all the time. Clients would bring us in, we would recommend a certain set of cuts to their cost structure, and then you check in a year later, 2 years later, there's just been creep here and there, and it's come back. And so for me, that's something I think about every single day, and I try and make sure that this cost structure that I've was almost not forced into so much, but I had to adapt to quickly, sticks around. And so I've done that in a couple of ways. So the first one is that I don't think about a purchase now so much in terms of money as I do in time. In other words, if I buy this item today, or buy this repeating item, so like the cup of coffee, for example, every day, how does that take away from my time in the future? Because currently, with this client, if I just spent the essentials, more or less 1 month's worth of work with them can quote unquote buy me 2 to 3 months of freedom, sometime down the line, whenever the contract ends. And that's huge. So if I spend a lot of money on a trip today, that then limits my options going down the road. So that's one big one, is thinking of cost, not in terms of money, but actual time. The second thing I really ask myself now is, am I realistically going to use this item every single day? If you read the article that started all this, and I linked to that in the description section as usual, but when I first came out of college, my goal was to buy things. And so for the next couple years after that, I would just collect, briefcases or, pick your item, pairs of shoes, just so I could have them. I'd read GQ and I would buy whatever was featured there. And I realized it all just collected dust. Well, as the years have gone on, I realized that there's a couple items that I really just gravitate to every single day. And so whenever I'm about to buy something, I think, okay, do I really need it, given that I've got a very nice selection of items that I use all the time now, and this particular item, am I going to use it every single day? So a great example is a guitar. I would love a made in the USA Fender Stratocaster, but that is expensive, so it can be put off. But it's also not a recurring cost, so that means I can save up for it, buy it once when I feel the time is right, and then that doesn't affect my cash flow going forward. At the same time, that's probably something that I will use every single day. And so I guess you could call it the joy to cost ratio is much lower, or is quite high compared to some of the things that I've bought in the past. And so as you go forward and you make these decisions, if you haven't done it already, just think about, what is it that you really, really value? What is it that you use? And if you run through that exercise, what you realize is that 99% of the stuff you own, you probably don't use. And you might even realize actually that you have everything you need right now. Now, there's always going to be things that come up. I needed a car. Your car may break down one day. You're going to need that. But I just think that on an ongoing basis, if you are well-fed, well-clothed, and have a roof over your head, you're pretty much all the way there, right? And so that thought has really been encouraging, and it's really allowed me to adjust my goals going forward, because now as I work with this client and try and do the best work that I can, the motivation isn't, okay, let's work so I can buy more stuff. It's let's work so I can do a great job, keep building up my reputation, and then set my options up even further going down the road. So it's been really great. And that's not to say that I won't buy anything. I still have hobbies. There's still things that make me happy. I still want to be able to, get something from my wife every so often. But the 2 months, January and February, where I was really down to the essentials, made me reevaluate and examine a lot of things. I'm very happy I'm at this point, and the challenge now is just to make those changes stick and stay disciplined going forward. So on that note, I'm going to go enjoy my weekend by hanging out on the couch and watching some low-cost Netflix as opposed to the iTunes I was buying before. I hope you have an equally relaxing end of the weekend, I should say, and I will see you back for day 91 next week. So we'll be officially past the halfway point. So look forward to talking to you then. Hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much.